Oh, hi guys. Hello to the Cellercise family and welcome. We made it through another Monday and we're already in May. So those who have been so patiently waiting for your Cellercisers, please know that they will be on their way the last week of May and we will no longer be back ordered, but I want to thank you. I want to thank all of you for the last 30 years for all the support that you've given us and for being involved, making a difference, for believing in Cellercise. I mean, we know it's a proven product. We know it works, we know it holds up, we know it lasts, and your testimonials and the stories that you've shared have made a difference in so many lives. I can't tell you, I wish you could hear the phone conversations that I have a chance to give. So thank you. I'll always say that. That's just part of who I am. So thank you. Let's read some customer reviews. We're going to answer some questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to enter them in for Justice. He will pass those on to me. We're going to do a routine today that's an offshoot of the strength number 2, but we're going to call it strength number 3. And it's all designed to help work on muscles in the arms, some in the chest and shoulders. We'll talk about the natural facelift. We'll do a little of that. I'll show you how to do that. And then how to tighten some underneath the chin as well. So have your Cellercisers ready. This is a long program. It's designed to be done on the Mr. Rebounder app, where you can turn on your favorite television show, which generally lasts more than 40 minutes, and just Cellercise while you enjoy the show. And this is why we say, why work out when you can play in? Okay, so new review. Guthrie, hey Dave. I'm a recent convert to rebounding after being a treadmill runner for several decades. At age 67, I usually ran 5 to 7 miles every morning, but I've completely switched my exercising routine to rebounding for the past 6+ weeks, and I enjoy the variety of additional muscle tone, plus less stress on my joints. I love your Mr. Rebounder app and usually complete 4 advanced programs each morning. Whoa, good for you. Thanks for the great app. I also enjoy your YouTube videos as it helps me to make sure that I am doing all the routines correctly and how each helps a specific portion of the body. Keep up the great work. I'm looking forward to a long and enjoyable partnership with you. Guthrie, thank you. We're looking for the same with you too. Appreciate it. It's one good thing about Cellercise. It doesn't matter whether you're 2 or 3 years old or 90 or 100 years old. You can still benefit from it. Patricia writes, Cellercising helps everything and every body part, including attitude. Oh, Patricia, you just reminded me of somebody. We cannot imagine going back to life without our Cellercisers, and we felt so strongly about the benefits. We gifted our 3 children's families each a Cellerciser. I did the same thing, and they won't regret that. We share every opportunity we get with friends and strangers about the positive impact Cellercising has had on us. At almost 74 and 77, our best years are ahead. Thank you, Dave Hall, Cellercise. Thank you, Patricia. I had a phone call from Gwen today, and Gwen, I asked her to write us. I'm sure she will. She's been part of the Cellercise family, very, very, very dynamic individual as well. And she was talking about, we were talking a little bit about detox and how the Cellercise helps to break up the toxins and the poisons in the body, but there's a physical element to Cellercise, but there's also a spiritual element to Cellercise and something we call the spiritual detox. And a spiritual detox can be, or a spiritual toxin within our lives can manifest itself physically. And so she was on the Cellerciser and she was thinking, as she's going through this physical detox portion, there's a meditative state where your mind starts thinking, is being stimulated. And sometimes these negative toxins or spiritual toxins come up, and she recognized or realized that she was congested, and that while she was Cellercising, she was trying to figure out why she was struggling with this, and she was doing some of the power breathing to help clear it out. But it came to her that there was a particular person in her life that was creating contention and frustration and some resentment and hostility. And she realized while she was Cellercising, she needed to get rid of that toxin. And so she's taking steps to communicate with that person and with herself and with forgiveness so that she can clear that. Now I say that because when you're detoxifying, going through a detox on Cellercise, there's often something negative that will come up in your mind. The moment you recognize it, replace it with something positive. Try to resolve it if you can. But replace it and see yourself resolving it. Remember visualization? We visualize an end result not as it is, but as it can be and should be. And you hold on to that. First step of faith, it creates the desire creates a passion compels us to action. So when you're seeing the end result the way it should be, then it's going to manifest itself spiritually and physically within the body. So thank you, Patricia, and thank you, Gwen. Susan, dear Dave, I received my Cellerciser 6 days ago. We spoke on the phone before my unit arrived. I was inquiring about my old foot injury and whether I should wear sneakers or not. You recommended the Witten sock. That's what I'm wearing now. And I purchased it from Amazon. That's W-H-I-T-I-N. It's a water sock. They arrived and so did my Cellerciser. I've worked out 6 days now and love this unit. I had an inexpensive one that was causing me some concern. And I'm so glad I purchased yours. I've done your weight loss video, 28 minutes, and different ones. I also have your Mr. Rebounder app and love this too. Thank you. It's so nice how the app alerts you to an exercise change. I've always exercised, whether walking, step aerobics, and some dumbbells, but something is very positively different with this form of exercise. I already feel stronger in 6 days. I'm encouraging my husband to use it too, as he has bad knees and had surgery on one and is trying to hold off on the other one. I think this could help him. I'm looking forward to seeing how the isotonic strength exercises work instead of my traditional dumbbells and seeing my results after several weeks. I want to hear back from you, Susan. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me on the phone. I was so surprised when you answered, as I recognized your voice immediately from your videos. Also, for your recommendation about the Witten socks. My foot is doing great. God bless you and your family. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate that. And for those who want to know more about I just like these socks, is that they've got an arch support rubber, but they're extremely flexible, and comfortable. I wear them all day long. I go shopping with them. I go hiking with them. Justice knows that I just pretty much given up typical shoes because these are they're so comfortable. But again, W-H-I-T-I-N. I don't have any interest in them other than I like them personally. Okay. Rich writes, dear friends, I also purchased Cellerciser out of desperation, as with micronutrients, silver solution, and water ionizer. I injured my foot playing basketball in early 2014. I had metatarsalgia, where the bone pushed through the tissue in the ball of my foot and gave me a lot of pain when I walked. I was becoming very lethargic. Then I discovered Cellerciser. After Cellercising for a week, I felt much better mentally and physically. At the same time, my foot was healing because of the low impact. I've enjoyed Cellercising for 6 years now. My previous back, shoulder, and neck pains are gone. Cellerciser also helped to practically eliminate arthritis from my hands. Thank you, Rich. Appreciate that. Carolina writes, being both overweight and out of shape, I was looking for a way to turn both issues around. I have a quality treadmill, but I've never been able to keep with it due to pain in my feet, knees, or back. So I was looking for an alternative. The Cellerciser is all they say it is. I started 6 weeks ago at less than 5 minutes a day and am now up to 20 minutes daily. I've had no injuries from rebounding, but did break my pinky toe when not on the rebounder, and I was able to find positions to work out on the rebounder in a matter of days, even though I was still walking with a limp. I've seen the benefit of better skin tone, less facial wrinkles, better cardio. I doubled the mileage. I was able to walk the dog in less than 2 weeks on the rebounder and increased muscle. I have suffered from plantar fasciitis for years and have found that rebounding barefoot has strengthened my feet, and I do not have any symptoms anymore. I am no longer stiff when I get out of bed in the morning and get up walking like I did 15 years ago. I did not start watching calories until the last 3 weeks, and though my clothes fit better prior to that, I don't believe I lost any weight those first weeks. Now that I've been watching calories as well, I am consistently losing 2 or more pounds a week without starving. We put the Cellerciser in the family room so that we can use it while watching TV. While I'm the biggest user of this, both my teenage daughters and husbands will use it too. That's Carolina. Sounds like our family. Good for you. And for those, again, who are watching, the Cellerciser, and the reason we were back ordered is it took about 3 months of negotiating to get our springs made, because the steel that we use in the springs, it's not your typical spring material. It's much stronger. So the spring companies don't necessarily like to make our springs because they have to stop production. And they're producing so many of the cheap springs now that they don't really want to stop production. So we had to work hard to get our springs manufactured. We had to order a lot more than normal, like 3 times the number, in order to get these springs made. But they're done. The units are completed. They're being shipped to us. We should have them again the last week of May, ready to ship out. So thanks again for all your patience. Ruth writes, I've been using the Cellerciser consistently 3 to 4 times per week for only 3 weeks now, but I have to tell you, I am over the moon about how I am feeling and what I'm seeing. My whole body is changing. I'm feeling muscles in my arms that haven't been there in years. I also had a lot of sagging skin from earlier weight loss on my face and arms, and that is greatly improved already, 3 exclamation points. And the way my brain feels right now at 56 is amazing. I feel so much better mentally and feel more alert and alive. You may remember my phone call a few weeks back about plantar fasciitis. We get that a lot. I called because I had so many issues with that during the last 20 years. And it started to bother me again when I first started using the Cellerciser, which made me panic. I called and talked with you, Dave, and you read me a few reviews on how bouncing has helped people with this problem, but I was still a bit skeptical, to put it nicely. However, I love the way bouncing made me feel, so I kept Cellercising, sometimes with my shoes on, but mostly with bare feet at this point. And guess what? Plantar fasciitis is completely gone! Exclamation point, all capital letters. No signs of it, and my feet feel better than they have since I was in my 20s. Cellercise is very helpful at exposing weaknesses, but it's not jarring, it's not tearing, not hitting a hard surface. So if you have a weakness, you may feel the weakness while the body adapts and strengthens. My sister Marie started this Cellercising revolution in my family a few months back, and out of a family of 7, 5 of us have a Cellerciser and love it. We are working on the last 2 brothers and telling them it's so worth the investment. My brother Daniel came and bought one at your factory on his 70th birthday, I remember that, and is one of your biggest proponents. He came there to get a picture with Dave, but you weren't at the office that day. I remember that. couldn't be happier, and we'll definitely continue to tell everyone about this amazing product. Every home should have one. It is rolling back the clock for me. Thank you. And I think we'll stop there and answer some questions, but these testimonials, they make a difference to all of us. And I want to say thank you for being willing to share those. Those are some great testimonials. I cannot imagine my life without the Cellerciser. And I know there's a lot of confusion out there in the market today. There are people that wonder, well, should I get a bungee cord unit? And I'm not disparaging it. If you have a bungee cord unit, I'm grateful that you're part of the family. We adopt you. I want you to enjoy it. If you notice achiness, so if you notice ankle problems, knee problems, hip problems, that may be a sign. When the units are too soft and they stretch out, the feet can pronate and the body can become more compacted, because you have to have resistance and then release, resistance and then release to get that circulation between the bones and joints and tissues of the body and to move the lymphatic system. These springs will not stretch out. That's why this unit costs more. That mat material will not stretch out, as many of us know. And some of us have units that are over 20 years old and we're still using them all the time. The Cellerciser is there. I tell people it's a one-time investment for a lifetime of benefit. And if you use it according to the instructions, it should do exactly that. It should last you a lifetime. So thank you. Thanks for being a part. Fleur, are there any exercises for jumping rope on the Cellerciser? Yeah, my daughter, when she was younger, Jenna, she's on our chat room all the time on our website. She challenged me once to jump roping on the Cellerciser. And of course I accepted the challenge. I remember this, we were in a small home in Manta, Utah at the time, and in the living room. And she had done like 270 jumps, which is a lot. I mean, that's a great workout on the Cellerciser. You have G-forces, but no jarring effect. And it's great. You take a balance bar off, of course, and you do jump rope on the Cellerciser. Great exercise. I had to beat her. I went to 300. And let me tell you, that's a great exercise. It's incredible cardiovascular, and you'll feel it. So yes, you can absolutely jump rope on a Cellerciser, and without the jarring effect of landing on the ground. Karen says, hi Dave, I would love to see a segment on Brooklyn's weight loss journey. Oh, well, we've got Brooklyn's weight loss. It's on our Mr. Rebounder app. And she basically did that routine almost 2 times a night watching, what was she watching? Friends? Something on TV. She would watch it every night. And she would go through that routine 2 times. It's enough to go through it once. You'll still get results. But she was highly motivated. And she did. She got those results. So that was her program. And it's on our Mr. Rebounder app. Julie writes, just amazing how incredible you look after year. I'm going to buy a Cellerciser. I have a question. My sister wants to buy this too, but was recently diagnosed with spondylolisthesis, but it's spondylolisthesis, and was told not to rebound. Would this make her condition worse or strengthen the back to support the spine and help prevent disc slippage? Any thoughts on this is greatly appreciated. I'm excited to start my Cellercise journey to excellent health. Julie, good question. Again, because it's a medical question, I have to say consult with your doctor. But with that said, I would suggest sharing with the doctor the technique where we lie down on the Cellerciser, where we take all the vertical pressure off of the disc. And with somebody lying down on the Cellerciser, their feet up on a chair, the towel behind their head, somebody stands over them and you bend at the knee, pushing down into the mat. See, it takes all the vertical pressure off of the disc. And as you're pushing down into the mat, it's a deep massage. It works through the whole body. The muscles can relax. We can take pressure off the spine, off the vertebral joints. And then after a few minutes of the gentle movement up and down like this, which is helping the person on top as well, then we rock side to side. The reason is we want to loosen up the vertebral joints in the back. And as we're massaging all the internal organs too, it feels great. But as we're loosening up those muscles, we're helping to create more space between the vertebral joints to the disc. It can be very helpful when working with a chiropractor, because that movement can over time loosen that joint, that whole area up, so that the chiropractor can make an adjustment more effectively. Eventually we want to get to the point where we can do a gentle movement up and down so the muscles flex around the new alignment, and then a rocking side to side. And then eventually getting to the point where we can do a gentle twist. All of that's for the lower back. All of that help. Don't do any sit and bounces. We don't want to do that. We want to address the issue first and increase that circulation, flexibility in the back. And guys and girls, or men and women, that is a fantastic routine. If you can find somebody to do that for you, do it. And then you can reverse, and one night have somebody do it for you and you can do it for them the next night. But it can be very beneficial for both of you, for strengthening the knees, if you're doing it standing there doing it, and strengthening the thighs. Great technique. Vicky writes, can Cellercise help with acid reflux? Yes, Justice.
Carrie says, hi Dave, I'm having meniscus.
What? Hold on. Okay, what was that? Meniscus.
Meniscus pain. I have to be my own doctor since I have no insurance. I'm hoping to be what you do with your knees.
Yeah. Okay, meniscus. If you've torn the meniscus like I did, horizontally and vertically, more than one place, and was told I had to have surgery, and many of you have heard the story. I didn't. I got a knee wrap. I would wear that, and I would start to gently move up and down. I would do the jumbo walk just to really work on the front part of the knee. I would do the gentle rock side to side to work on the lateral knee. It took about a year, but over the course of that year, I repaired that meniscus, and I would do it a little bit until I felt a little soreness in that area, because I welcomed that. I wanted a little bit of that inflammation. I wanted to be able to knit that meniscus back together, because the doctors, when they looked at my x-rays, had noticed lesions. And when I asked them, what do you mean lesions? They said, well, it's where you've torn it before. And I said, it healed? And they said, yes. I said, why wouldn't this heal? They said, well, at your age and as bad as this is, you need the surgery. I didn't get the surgery. My knee is absolutely fine. I do everything I've ever done, and I'm so grateful, but it did take some time. Ligaments and tendons take time to heal. It's not a quick fix, but it is something that I did fix, and many other people have done the same thing. So acid reflux. Okay, we got a sphincter muscle. It's a muscle. You know, we know how to strengthen the muscles in different areas of our body, and we create leverage in all these weightlifting or weight-bearing exercises on the Cellerciser. The sphincter muscle is no different. It's a muscle. When we're bouncing up and down on the Cellerciser, we're also putting weight, G-forces on that muscle over and over. So yes, I think it can strengthen the sphincter muscle. Again, consult with your doctor or health practitioner, but yeah, I'd like to hear more from others who may have experienced that and had the benefits of Cellercise. Fortunately, I've Cellercised for decades, so I never had that problem, so I don't know what that's like, but I've known people that have and that have benefited from Cellercising. So again, let us know, and thank you for the question. Please talk about osteoporosis. Okay. Cellercise is one of the exercises that doesn't limit the weight-bearing effect. It has resistance. It's not too soft. If it's too soft, you don't have enough resistance. The body doesn't use the minerals to strengthen the bones. But the bones are alive. They're constantly replacing the mineral content within the bone. If we take medications to stop bone loss, often the bones can become brittle because they're alive. They need to be replenishing and replacing. Excuse me. themselves. When we're cellercising, we're helping to promote circulation at the cellular level. So bones themselves have an increase of weight on them. As long as we have the good minerals within our diet, then the body can utilize those minerals to help strengthen the bones. And you've read some of the customer reviews that we have on our website concerning some of the people who have had some incredible results as a result of cellercising. Terry writes, hello, I've been rebounding for 3 minutes. I had bad knees. They hurt for a couple days afterwards. Will this get better? As I mentioned earlier, Terry, Cellercise will expose weaknesses. If you have a weakness, yes, it's going to take time. But the good news is you're challenging that weakness, but you're not tearing down. You're not hitting a hard surface. It's not damaging to those ligaments and those tendons. Knee problems, hip problems, back problems, you've heard me talk about them. They're often the very same problem. They're weaknesses or injury in the supporting muscles and ligaments of the joint. And when that's the case, as we strengthen the supporting muscles and ligaments in the joint, we're able over time retain better support and more fluid retention. It can take some time. So it sounds like you're headed in the right direction, and feel free to give me a call if I can be of any additional help. But just go easy. Don't do any kickouts. That leverages too much weight on the joint. You want to build up the supporting muscles and ligaments around the knee first. So gentle rocking side to side for both sides of the knee, jamba walk for the whole front part of the knee. Eventually we'll get to the point where you can, jump side to side. And that's again for the lateral knee. Very few exercises will address that. Cellercise does. Okay, Karen writes, I've seen some rebounder instructors bending at the waist and knees when they're jumping. Is there any benefit to that versus straight legs? Not to my knowledge. When you bend at the waist, you put the weight on the back. The back's not doing anything, it's just holding you up. When you keep the back straight, you keep the weight over the thighs. In fact, if you do something, if you're watching this and you can stand up, go ahead and stand up with me, and I want you to take your hands and grab the top of your thigh and squeeze the muscle there. I want you to feel that muscle just as you stand there. Now, as you're holding on to that muscle, squeeze it a little bit, keep your back straight and bend at the knees. Feel how tight those muscles are, how much they're working. They're working. Now hold on to those muscles and lean forward, bend over. See how soft they get? So when we Cellercise, we want to keep the back straight and the feet flat so that we can work the thigh and we can work more effectively the supporting muscles and ligaments around the knees. When you lean forward, it takes that weight off. Okay. IK writes, with the Cellercise pre-orders on the website, do you know when they may be available? How long we might have to wait before shipping? Also, do you know roughly how much it costs to ship to the UK? We've been shipping quite a few of these to the UK lately. If you go to the website, enter in the unit of your choice and put in your full address, it will give you the shipping costs before you place an order. So we can do that all around the world. The other question, when will they be available? Again, they're due to ship out the last week of this month. And thank you all for your patience. Angie writes, what is the best workout routine for menopausal women for weight loss? And a gentle movement up and down stimulates thyroid, adrenals, the endocrine system. Everything expands, contracts collectively. That creates balance, homeostasis, stimulates everything in the body. And then for weight loss, jamba run, jamba walk. And we've talked about how weight loss is genetic. There's genetic mapping. The body's different and it burns different areas of the body first. It's not, hey, I want to burn it here, so therefore I want to burn it in a certain area. You can't do that. Not really with you can do that with muscles, but not with fat. The body will go after certain areas first, and it may be one area that takes a little longer to get to, but it's the movement up and down stimulates circulation. Jogging in place, running, getting the metabolism going is excellent and good. Deep breathing techniques to help oxygenate the body. Cells need oxygen to burn calories, and all those are important. And then the Jamba walk, Jamba run, which we all love and hate. How to use a Cellerciser with a bad back and bulging discs? It's the same way that I shared earlier, where you're lying down on the Cellerciser. And let's open up the vertebral joints first. Let's get the disc moving, or take pressure off the disc. Justice, you want to come in real quick? I'm going to have you lie down again, just so I can show for those who may not be aware of how to do this. And go ahead and sit down right there and lie down. So we're doing, you want to lie down this way, head, there you go. Okay, scoot that way a little bit more so I can put your head on there. There you go. Okay. Yeah, generally you'd have his feet on the chair, move your hands outside. Okay, move your arms out to both sides. All right, so we'll see if the dog stays there. Okay, so basically we're taking all the vertical pressure off the disc and off the nerves so that the muscles can start to relax. And I just gently move them up and down. I'm pushing down into the mat. Very easy, very gentle, feels very, very comfortable. It's massaging everything. It's extremely relaxing. And then after a few minutes of this, then you rock side to side so that we start to loosen up the muscles all along the vertebral joints. And as we loosen up those muscles, we start to create more space between the vertebrae to the disc, so we can increase more circulation to that disc. And then you just go back and forth, a few minutes each movement. Thank you, Justice. Appreciate you. Thanks, buddy. Good question. All right. So that's it. We're ready to get started. Okay, guys. This is going to be, if everything cooperates, a great program tonight for those who really want to target the upper body. For all of you know me, and Justice, everybody knows, I don't lift any weights. I'm not a bodybuilder by any means, so I don't have a lot of muscles bulging out all over the place. But pretty physically fit for somebody who's going to be 68 in a few months. I can't believe that. So, but muscles, you know, the body, remember, cells don't get old. They're always replacing themselves. We can strengthen them at any age. That's why Cellercise is so important for everybody. When cells are stronger, healthy, and working more efficiently, our body parts and functions will be stronger, healthy, and working more efficiently too. What we're going to do tonight is in the, it's an offshoot of the intermediate. So we got beginning, intermediate, advanced routines. This is in the intermediate section, but I've added a little bit to it, which really makes it a little more advanced. What we're going to be working on again is upper body, pretty much the arms, shoulders, neck, face, and it's almost 40 minutes long. So most people can do this. You don't have to do it real intense. I mean, you go comfortably. We're just going to spend some time together enjoying this, doing the program, and we're ready to go. Let's see if we have sound this time. I'm going to turn on, as you remember, we go back to the home button, go to the little hamburger, they call it hamburger up there, I guess. Okay, let's go back. There we go. Okay, so here I go to settings. You can see settings up on the screen, maybe. Try again. I waited too long. There we go. Settings. And I'm going to connect Bluetooth device. And I'm using the little wireless module that we have that you can get online. It's on our website, our store. And that little module connects to the Mr. Rebounder app, and it's now connected. So now I'm going to go back to the routine. I'm going to go back to my workouts here. That's the one that we did for today, and I wanted to find a picture that I could put there, so I took one of myself. But but that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Health balance. Let's warm up this body. You can see okay on the line. Is everything good? All right. And you can hear how the competition says how squeaky the Cellerciser is. It doesn't have to be. I have to say that because they're always disparaging us. Okay, so this is just helping get rid of stress and tension if it's nighttime. It's helping to stimulate circulation if it's in the morning, getting the lymphatic system going, and just warming up all the tissue of the body. This is what I think is even better than stretching. If you could do nothing more than this, it's creating flexibility for all parts of the body. After coming up is the hip rock. Oh, don't do that. I don't know why you did that. Okay, so we're just rocking left to right, but I'm dropping the shoulders a little bit because I want to get a little more flexibility in the back, the vertebral joints, and the disc. I've never seen it do that before. It's a new routine, and maybe I was supposed to put in the settings. You can put a rest period in between each move. So if you want to wait a moment between moves, you have the ability to do it, but we don't need that. So. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Good, that's all right. Hope everybody's enjoying this and doing it. Okay, the next movement will be the twist. And we want to just lift the heels up and down and just gently twist at the waist. And again, we're just preparing the body. This is all just getting everything, breaking up blockages, stress, tension, increasing circulation, flexibility, stimulating digestion, elimination. We're actually targeting the smooth muscles right now, helping to put the colon, the intestine through a little washing machine effect. And if you take a digestive aid, it's like turning on the agitator in a washing machine. It's like, wow, this is going to work now. It's also helping with all the muscles that wrap around the hip area, and is one of the steps we take toward helping people that have sciatic issues. If you want to work the upper back a little bit, you can do it this way too. Okay, now we're going to do power breathing. Stay on the mat. And when you, okay, now we're pressing in, so we're going to be working on the chest and the shoulders. On the power breathing, don't do too much of it initially. If your bronchial tubes in the lungs are sensitive or a little wheezy, it's not that it's going to hurt them, it's just going to, you'll feel it more the next day. So you want to kind of build up on that power breathing, because it takes from wheezy bronchial tubes to strong bronchial tubes. Okay, now we're pulling out for 30 seconds. Just kind of arch. You want to arch your back a little bit, kind of pull your chin in so you maintain good alignment as we're bouncing up and down. All right, now we're going to push in again. So now we push in. And you can control the amount of resistance by how much you push. So you're not hurting yourself. You're just building up. Okay, and we're going to pull apart again. And this is really working. Now, why are we bouncing doing this? Say, well, I could do this on the ground. Not really. One of the advantages of bouncing while we're doing this, we're adding more weight, but we're also working the fascia and the skin. We're still working every other part of the body all at the same time. It's weight bearing on all 75 trillion cells, not just those muscles. Pushing in again. The reason I like using the app personally is because this is what we do, is we watch a television show and we put on the app, and it dings in between each movement. So after it dings, we look through the next movement, continue to watch the show, and the time just flies by. She should be feeling some of that now. The shoulders, upper back. Okay, pulling apart again. This will really strengthen the upper back and the shoulders. In addition to weight bearing, we're also pumping. So while we're doing it, we're helping to backflush valves, stimulate the lymphatic circulatory system, increase oxygen blood flow to the brain, challenging our equilibrium and our balance. Breathe, power breathing. Oh, I like that. Okay, now we're going to jog, but what we're going to do is the little facelift. So it's, you smile with your cheeks. You're going to kind of drop your chin, open your mouth a little bit, so we keep it smooth underneath the chin. And we're just going to jog like this. The reason is that we're causing the skin to flex around the muscles. And we're smiling with our cheeks and not overstretching the skin under the chin. And we're working the stomach by tilting it backwards a little bit also. Okay. Arm curls, we're pushing down and pulling up at the same time. We're going to do this for a while, so you guys, you can give your arms a good workout here. Now, while you're doing this, tighten your stomach muscles too. You can also tighten your buttocks. You're burning more calories. If you bend slightly at the knee while you're bouncing up and down, you're going to be putting more resistance on the thighs. And again, these are all little subtle differences that make a big difference in the effectiveness. I spoke with a number of people today. Great reviews, great insights. And I've asked them to write me, and they said they would. So we should have some good reviews to share with you in a couple of weeks as well. And if you have some, absolutely, even if you've written in before, write again. Let us know updates. We'd love to hear them. Okay, we're going to switch arms. And this is only the first set. We'll start to feel it more in the second, third sets. But you can imagine doing this watching a television show. If you have kids, you can have the kids go through, and we're using the male avatar on the Mr. Rebounder app right now, but we have a little superhuman cadet or spaceman and space girl that you can pick and change the avatar so they can be watching a show and doing their Cellercising at the same time, so they're not just a couch potato. They're a Cellercise potato. I really started promoting that during the COVID situation because so many kids were not getting enough exercise. Oops. And we have different music, so you can pick different music. Normally when we're watching a show, we mute the music. There's a little mute button down by the music notes at the bottom of the screen. And when you hit that, it silences the music so you can watch the show. But you'll still have a ding in between each movement. All right, switch arms. And obviously the harder you push, the more you're going to feel that. So Justice, I'm gonna let you do this one later. He's in good shape. So soon on our website, we're going to have videotapes highlighting more of the last 30 years of Cellercising. And you'll watch me as I have gone through the years. But it's fun to watch highlights of the kids too, because they were really teeny tiny when they began. And we started videotaping them. And then our grandkids, Jenna's kids, are now incredibly coordinated, and they're all Cellercising. Our 3-year-old Sophie, and she's a granddaughter. She's just like Avery and Daxon, who are little, they're phenomenal on it. Kids grow in their balance, their timing, their rhythm, coordination skills, and all of their activities when their kids or grandkids are on the Cellerciser. Okay, we're going to get ready to switch arms again. And hopefully you're feeling it now. Again, tighten the stomach and the buttocks if you remember. See, this is more for strength and fitness, but we still burn over 125 calories already. So. So the wireless module is an add-on to the Mr. Rebounder app. The wireless module is what gives you the ability to see the intensity meter there, the number of bounces, the number of calories burned, the amount of time before the next move. It actually shows you what the next move is, which is going to be behind the back. And the neat thing about this is not a workout, it's a play-in. It can be fun. And I've shared it before, we're the only species in the world that has bought into the idea you gotta tear down to build up, or you gotta, whoop, other arm again. Sorry about that. Okay. I'll get them. There we go. So we've learned how to manipulate the body. And that's what most of these health clubs and gyms do. They tear down to build up. And although it works, and there's many people that like that, it's still a manipulation of the body. We're the only species in the world that will do that. And yet, Cellercise is very different. You don't tear down to build up. You can do this every day. You can do it several times a day if you want. You're taking the weakest of cells and you're building them up. You're not tearing them down. So it can help with anything. If you're involved with yoga, if you're involved with martial arts, it can improve your performance because it's creating an enormous amount of balance within the body. We're literally flexing the whole body collectively as a whole, not as parts. So the body literally becomes much stronger as a whole, not just as parts. And you've seen me demonstrate the strength and balance test on people, and it's a real test that increases strength and balance dramatically. Okay, I'm gonna bear down a little harder now, as much as I can. So I'm working the tricep on the left arm and the bicep on the right arm. Okay, switch arms again. Yeah, this is the last one for the bicep and the triceps. Try shoulder. So we're in May already, and it was snowing here yesterday and today. Which was unexpected. It can happen, but we're up in the mountains of Utah. So that kind of looks like where we live right now. And your arms should be kind of pumped a little bit tomorrow. That's okay. You're working on muscles, ligaments, tendons, skin, fascia, all of it right now. Okay, so we're going to do in the back, and in the back we just want to kind of push down and pull up at the same time. And you can move your hands up and down if you would like. It offers a little more stretch in the shoulder. You don't have to do it hard. You play on it, just do it, and it is working on you. You'll get stronger naturally as you're able. Yes, Justice.
Oh wow, the arm exercises in the app, question mark?
Yeah, this is the app. We're doing the app right now. And not only are they in the app, we have a library of 65 different movements that you can combine, much as I have here. Okay, we're switching arms now, doing the other side. So we just switch the hands around. So you have 65 different movements in the app, and you can combine them. You can work on the neck, the shoulders, the back, the arms, the legs, the waist, the stomach, the digestion, elimination. I think the lungs, I said. We've got weight loss, we've got muscle building, we've got the morning wake up. If you don't have a lot of time, you can do the morning routine. If you don't have a lot of time at night, just have 5 minutes, you can do the nighttime routine to get rid of the stress, tension, and prepare for sleep. We've got all of those in the app too. Okay, switch hands again. Yes, Justice.
Dave, do you mean this routine to be done every day or can do it?
You don't have to do it. I don't do it every day. No. This is 40-minute routine. This is something if somebody really wants to get exercise and they've got some time, they want to watch a show and they want to do this, they can do it.
Shauna says, can you turn around so you can see what you're doing?
Yeah. You really feel that in the shoulders. A lot. They're burning. Because I'm bouncing up and down, and that's increasing more weight, and I can feel it on the bouncing too. And so we're going to switch shoulders again in just a moment. Great exercise for the shoulders. I love it because I feel it and I know I need it. It's a good one. Switch hands again. We're doing it again this way. So I'm pushing down with the left hand and resisting with the right. And then I'm pulling up with the right while I resist with the left. So it's just constant resistance, up and down. Oh man, it feels good. Oh, I feel that in the shoulders, it's great. You have to let me know if you feel it in the shoulders when we're done too. Because it's working the back of the arms, where a lot of people want to work the back of the arms, but it's by lifting the arms up and down, you really work that shoulder as well. Okay, baby health balance. All right, just kind of wiggle those shoulders and arms out a little bit. Feels good. Oh, next one's going to be the shoulder pump. All right. You can do it like a jumping jack if you want as well, but I do it a little bit more like this so that you're constantly getting a little more resistance. And this is helping to open up the rotator cuff and the shoulder, stretch those muscles and ligaments, because a lot of us on a day-to-day basis, we're not really reaching overhead very much. Okay. Number 2. All of these are in the Mr. Rebounder app. Okay, we're going to go back to shoulder pump 1 again, the first one. Okay, now we're working the upper back, shoulders, arms. Try to extend, that's what I'm doing, extending up as you move up. Now we're going to do the shoulder pump 2 again, one we just did. The next movement are going to be swirls out to the front. So we'll extend our arms out in front of us and do little swirls. So I said at the beginning of this is all upper strength, body, arms. We'll do another one of the face and the neck. How's everybody doing? I hope wonderful. If you're still with me, you're doing great. Swirls up over the head. Good news is we're 2/3 of the way done already. I need to do more of this one. Okay. In a moment, we're going to do shoulder swirls to the side. By bouncing, you're putting more weight. See, when your arms are out, if you just stood there and did swirls, it would only be good for a few group of muscles right there in the shoulder. But by bouncing, you're putting more weight on the shoulders leveraged because your arms are extended, which makes it more effective. And you're also putting weight on the rest of the body. That's great. So you're going to get some relief for a moment. We're going to do shoulder swings. We're still leveraging weight, but we're also opening up the shoulder too. The neat thing while you're watching a television show, you don't have to stay in time with the avatar. You can actually just watch the show. Just look down and see what the next movement is. Okay, we're opening up the shoulder, the chest cavity. We're working the scapula area behind our shoulder blades. Okay, back to shoulder swirls. And then if you wanted to do the show, or if you wanted to take this particular routine, if you want to add to it, you'll open up the routine. We'll have this on the Mr. Rebounder app. This particular routine is not on the app yet. The movements are, but that we have the upper strength 1, 2. This will be number 3. We'll get it up there. Now, if you open it and you clone it, there's a clone button. You hit the clone button, which is what I did with strength exercise number 2. I basically just cloned it and added a few more movements. Then you can add more movements to it and save it under your own personal library under a different name. So to answer that question earlier, is it on the app? This particular routine will be on the app. And we'll probably put it in the intermediate section. I tell you, my shoulder is a lot more flexible this time around. I don't know if yours is or not, but definitely feels better. Hot to the side. As you get stronger and better at it, you reach. It's just kind of reaching out when you twirl. "10 seconds, you got this." Next movement is going to be the shoulder swing. And it should be easier too. Okay, stretch the shoulder. You just hook up above the elbow, pull your shoulder toward your chin, and bounce. Yes?
Barbara says, will that get rid of back pain?
Yeah, that's it can help. And the one where I had the arms behind the back, that's what targets that area as well. So you're still putting weight on the collagen in the skin, so it can help to make it more resistant and stronger. Hook and pull the other shoulder over. This is good for the back, the scapula area, the shoulder itself. So the bouncing takes we have the stretch, and then by bouncing, we take weight off and put it on so that it actually helps to stretch as well. Okay, natural facelifts. Open your mouth a little bit. Tilt backwards. You can do the same movement, kicking out, but that creates more leverage, so it's okay. I want to keep this in the intermediate section. Okay, now I want you to massage around your muscles in your face. Just gently massage those muscles. Okay, now we can put our hands on our throat, behind our neck. We can massage the vertebral joints in the neck by doing those little circular movements and pushing in to the vertebrae. Just to help really move circulation. We're at the baby bounce. You did it! Thanks for joining us. I hope you felt some results. Again, it looks like we've been pumping weights, right? We have our own. We are pumping every cell to the body. You don't have to lift weight away from gravity. We're increasing the weight of gravity. And not saying that you can't do weightlifting, you can, but many of us just don't have time. And you can still maintain great physical strength and flexibility with Cellercise. And it doesn't take a lot of time. You don't have to change your clothes, you have to drive anywhere. You can do it at the convenience of your at home with the television on. Mr. Rebounder app on, or air conditioning if it's hot outside. And it's convenient. So thank you again. By the way, for those of you who have the little bar here, another technique, we'll include it on our app eventually, is to hold the sides of the bar here and you push in. You actually pull and push down and in, so you're working underneath this whole area as well. So you can do a resistance movement while you're pushing down into the bar. It just gives you another little technique on that. So thank you again. Thanks for being a part. Let us know if you have any questions. Please keep the customer reviews coming. If there's anything I can do to help, if you have anybody in your family that you think might benefit from a phone call from me, I'm more than happy to talk to them and to hopefully inspire and motivate them to the benefits of Cellercise. Our objective here is to recognize we all have a greater health potential, and we want to be able to achieve that and enjoy a better vitality of life now and 20, 30, 50 or more years from now. Thank you. God bless. Keep up the good work. Keep being a difference. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. If you have anything specific you would like to see us work on a couple weeks from now, please share your ideas in the comments. And remember, you don't have to work out when you can play in. Have fun.